Hello, hello, my friends. A little bit of a different video that I am sharing with you today. In this one, I'm going to be sharing with you candles that I received in PR, but I don't like them. Now, you guys know if you've been with my channel any length of time, I typically try to stay pretty upbeat, pretty positive. So this really isn't even really designed to be a negative video. The main reason why I am doing this is because I have a couple of candles here in front of me that I've tried burning, with the exception of one. We'll talk about that one in just a moment, but I've given them a go and they aren't for me. And if you've been watching my channel any length of time, you guys know I have gotten pretty cutthroat about my candle collection. This year, if you've been watching my declutter series, I've been talking about how I've really been trying to find the balance between burning new candles for review purposes, but also finding the time to burn fragrances that I have loved for a long time. That really is the whole purpose of home fragrance, isn't it? We are burning candles that maybe evoke some nostalgia, or they are very pleasing to the old nostrils. So for me personally, like I said, I've been trying to strike that balance, and I've had to get pretty cutthroat about my collection because I don't have a large amount of space to store all of them in. And like I said, this year in particular, fall and going into the holidays is probably my very favorite time of year to burn candles. It is also some of the most nostalgic time of year for me. And so, yeah, I figured today, instead of waiting and trying to like hate burn some of these candles so that I could do official dedicated post burn reviews for all of you guys, I just wanted to go over some of these candles and let you guys know they're not for me. And that way I can go ahead and move them along. Now, like I said, this is a little bit different than my declutter series because sometimes my declutters are candles that maybe I purchased. Maybe I've gotten them and I don't necessarily not like them. It's just that I just feel kind of meh about them, and I've just decided to pass them along. But these candles, I'm moving on from them because I actually don't like the fragrances at all. And I feel like that could be beneficial for a lot of you guys because I know that there's quite a few of you guys who say that we have very similar fragrance preferences. And so by me just being really honest and saying, I don't like these scents, maybe I can save you some money. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing if you are new. As always, the candles that I am talking about today will be listed in the description box down below, as well as with timestamps. So let's go ahead and talk about, I'll go ahead and talk about the fragrance that I haven't burned yet. Mainly because this one is really, it's out of season for me. You guys know I'm a seasonal burner. And this is a fragrance that actually is part of an auto ship option with the Homeworx, their Orchard Treats collection, which was a big deal value over on QVC. So they did send me the Orchard Treats collection in PR as well as the auto ship option. And this is a fragrance that I remember telling you guys when I got it in, I was like, I don't really, it is, here's what it is, but it is the fragrance Pink Cherry Blossom. You guys, I'm not really into like floral fragrances, not these types at least. Sakura Cherry Blossom, Apple Blossom, Violet Leaf, and Tonka Bean. Now, if you're somebody who likes a good cherry blossom type of fragrance, then I think you're going to like this. But this to me just smells like your run-of-the-mill cherry blossom scent. It's one that I've never really been intrigued to purchase from retailers, say like Bath and Body Works. And so this is one that I don't like it. And I'm going to go ahead and move it on along. While we are talking about Homeworx candles, let's talk about a candle that you guys might be a little bit surprised. I myself am actually surprised that I don't like this one burning. I actually had this fragrance in a hand soap last year. And so when Slatkin & Co. told me that they were going to be sending me this candle in PR, I was actually pretty excited. I was like, oh, I've heard great things. I loved this one in the hand soap, but I've started burning it, and y'all, I can't get on board with it. It is the fragrance Black Pumpkin Woods. Now, I think that there's some of you guys who might be clutching your pearls at me saying this. This is a 3-wick candle, and I will say I love the vessel. I love the packaging on this, but the fragrance notes on this are pumpkin puree, black plum, mulled spices, charred firewood. Now, here's the thing, you guys. In the hand soap, I like this, but this, when it is burning, it almost, how do I put this? It comes across almost like a is it like almost like mothballs, or like there's something that's very like musty or something. That's the best way that I could describe it. This smells musty to my nose. Now, in fairness, I think that a lot of that has to do with they say there's mulled spices mixed with black plum and charred firewood. I do believe that it is the charred firewood element, which I typically like in a lot of Homeworx candles. I love their fireside Christmas tree. But I think it's the mulled spices. Mulled spices for me can go either way. Yeah, I think it's just that combination. It's coming off musty to my nose, and I just don't love it. So again, if you have similar fragrance preferences that I do, as I do, um, might want to save your money, although the vessel is beautiful. But this one, not for me. And then while we are sticking with Homeworx here, the last Homeworx candle that I wanted to talk about that was sent to me in PR that I am not enjoying is the fragrance Dark Harvest. Now, this is a new fragrance this year, and this was one that I was initially pretty intrigued by. On Cold Sniff, I actually said that it kind of had that like dark vibe going on, like Palo Santo Pumpkin, which I do love that fragrance. So the fragrance notes here on Dark Harvest are midnight blackberry, glowing amber, crushed cardamom, and musk. And here's the thing with this one, you guys. When this is burning, I think it's the cardamom note. Again, cardamom is another note for me that is hit or miss, but it's mixed with like a berry note. I'm finding that berry notes for me, particularly when they are mixed in with autumnal fragrances, they're almost too deep. I think that I personally love berry notes when they're like a strawberry or a blackberry, or they're more like light and summery. But when they get into these like deeper notes, they almost come across slightly like decaying, or like they're part of the fermenting process. Maybe not fermenting, because fermenting would be a little bit more like astringent pungency, but decaying. I think that's probably a way to describe that. I don't love this one. Now I do know that Amy over at Beloved Fragrance Finds, she really loves this fragrance. So I actually contacted her because she actually, I think you guys might already know this, but Amy actually only lives about an hour away from me. And sometimes when I find myself going towards the Phoenix area, in her little area of the valley there, I will drop off some candles for her. So I've actually told her that I'm going to go ahead and set this aside for her because I do know that she loves this fragrance. But Amy and I have very different fragrance preferences. She tends to love cardamom notes. Whereas for me, they're hit or miss. But like I said, this one on cold, I thought that this would be more of kind of like that resinous Palo Santo pumpkin. But when this is burning, there's something about it that comes across just a little, again, not as musty as the black pumpkin woods. Um, but there's something here that like, I don't know. It like reminds me of like an old house or something. I don't even know what the right words would be for that, but it's not my thing. I will say that the strength and throw though on both of these candles has actually been pretty good. This one I would give about a 7.5. You guys know, you can see I've actually burned it all the way, like halfway through. This one is like a lot of the 2025 pours with Homeworx, where it is burning pretty hot and fast. So you might want to limit the burn times to 3 hours and just keep an eye on the wicks. The wicks are not accumulating a ton of carbon residue, but they might fall over into the wax pool if you let them burn too long. So those are some Homeworx candles that have been recently sent to me in PR that I am saying goodbye to. And then since Kringle is launching their Fall Reserve lineup today, I did already do dedicated post-burn reviews on 3 of the fragrances from that lineup, but you're going to find in this video, there's 3 more in this video that I will be moving on from, and I figure it would be helpful for me to share with you guys what's going on with these 3. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Forest Noir. Fragrance notes on Forest Noir are fir balsam, lime, lemon, ginger blossom, cedarwood, clove, leather, oud, amber, and patchouli. Now this one for me, I did do 1 burn on this, and here's the thing with this one. It's very it's mossy, and yet those citrus notes in here lend a brightness to it. It almost feels kind of like almost feels like an oxymoron to say that there's elements of this candle that are very dark and deep and earthy, But then there's that brightness in there of citrus, of lime and ginger. And I don't, it's not like ginger, like baking ginger, but there's like there's a zing to it, right? Now, I did mention in my cold sniffs video that this one actually was my least favorite. And I'm going to tell you guys still upon burn, this one is my least favorite. I don't like this one. Like, I really don't like this one. Again, it's hard to describe, but it's mossy mixed with that like brightness of the citrus. It just is not my cup of tea. Now, I will say I did only get one burn in on this one, and I did burn it in my master bedroom, and it was very, very strong in that closed concept room. So much so that I was like, okay, we need, I don't like this scent, and we need to extinguish this. But yeah, if you're wanting like a strong kind of almost borderline, I don't even know like what this one, it's fresh, but it almost comes across almost like cologne-like in some ways too when it's burning. I'm going to stop smelling that one because I don't love it that much. Okay, here's another one, the Midnight Oud with the, I think one of you guys commented and said it looks like a great horned owl because I said I don't know my owls that well. Midnight Oud has fragrance notes of amber, wood, fir needle, patchouli, tonka, and wood. Now, this is another one that I think Amy said that she liked. I think because I had told her that when she had done her reviews, I was like, hey, some of those I don't really care for, and I'm going to set them aside for you. I think this was the other one that she liked. Now, this one, I'm going to say, it's not that I don't like it. I would say of all of these fragrances that I'm decluttering, this one to me, it's not that I don't like it as much as it's just, I feel about it. Like I would say of this video, this is the one that I like the most of the ones that I don't like, if that makes sense. But this is very similar to, I feel like this has been done before with Kringle. I can't exactly say that it's a repour. Did I even read the notes on this? Yeah, amber, wood, fir needle, patchouli, tonka, and wood. I get the fir needle in here, but I get that amber, and it's more perfumey amber. You get the patchouli as well. It's not leaning dirty hippie or anything, but this to me, it kind of bears some resemblance just to some of the recent Halloween fragrances. Not the same because that fragrance had more saffron in it, but like the London Fog one, the one that had Jack the Ripper on it, I feel like they kind of have some similarities. This to me is kind of a perfumey type of fragrance. Oud can come across to my nose as kind of like a damp, resinous type of note. Yeah, kind of like a damp wood. And I do get some of that in here. But I think that if you're somebody who likes some of those more like conceptual perfumey fragrances, the other one that this kind of reminds me of a little bit is the fragrance Arctic Highway that was released, last winter. Again, it's not a hate for me. But again, it's just not a fragrance that I feel like I should be giving priority to burn in my collection. And then the last fragrance that I just don't really care for is this spiced tobacco and cedar, which honestly is a little bit disappointing for me because I am somebody who actually does. I do like some tobacco type of fragrances. I love a good pipe tobacco type of fragrance. We have notes here of bergamot, mandarin, violet leaf, lily of the valley, spiced rose, patchouli embers, black amber, cedar wood, and musk. And this is another one. Okay, this is another one that cedar wood note mixed with patchouli to my nose, once again, it just comes across like cedar chest. Like it's too much for me. It's very, my friend Melanie talks about like dirty hippie. This just to me smells like a fragrance that would like, I don't know, like I would walk into somebody's home and they've got macrame everywhere, and like, and if that's your home, then maybe that would be great, but like it's not my vibe. So please know I'm not insulting you if that's like if that's your home style or that's like what you love, but to me it's not me. And so therefore I don't want to burn candles that aren't really me in my home. Yeah, this honestly reminds me of like opening up my grandma's cedar chest when I smell this. There's a faint rose note in here that comes out a little bit when it's burning. I was burning this in my daughter's room, and again, it was pretty strong in there. I have heard from some other reviewers though that they've experienced a drop down in the strength and throw, which I did mention in my Fog and Embers review that like the first third of these candles, some I've had varied performance in terms of strength and throw. But yeah, again, this one is not a hate for me, but it's just, I don't know. I mean, I would say like the Forest Noir, I really don't like. These two, if these were like, I feel like these are fragrances that like if they were, well, I would even say gifted. Maybe the Midnight Oud, if I didn't have this like giant candle collection and I was just like a casual candle burner, I could see myself liking that. But honestly, I think the reason why I'm also feeling like, let's just move on from them is because I do have people in my life. I have friends who don't really go out of their way to buy candles, but I do know some of their fragrance preferences and I've passed candles along to them. I do know that some of those fragrances are totally in their wheelhouse. And so that's the other reason why I'm kind of like, I'd just rather pass them along to people that will enjoy them. So anyways, you guys, I feel like that's kind of like this video kind of serves the purpose of me just giving some closure and final thoughts to candles that were sent to me that I was asked to just share my thoughts on with all of you guys without me having to like, again, conduct hate burns and then have to do dedicated post burn reviews. I feel like this is kind of like an all-in-one, just letting you guys know I don't really care for these candles. They are going to find new homes, hopefully here pretty soon. But let me know in the comment box down below if you found this video helpful. Maybe, maybe some of these fragrances you really like. Are you a fan of Black Pumpkin Woods or Dark Harvest? I know you guys have all been able to get your hands on those. I know, like I said, today is the launch for these Reserve line candles. Maybe I saved you some money. I don't know. You guys can feel free to leave a comment down below. But in general, if you found this video helpful and you liked it, can you hit that thumbs up button? Because it really helps me out with the old YouTube algorithm. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new and you like candle content. I did mention in a couple videos back that I do have a goal of hitting 2,000 subscribers by the end of this calendar year. It would be kind of fun if we could do that and might be a manageable goal. So if you feel like you vibe with me and want to stick around for more candle content, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.